Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video. And today I'm scrapbooking this picture of my granddaughter, and she has part of a hamburger stuck in her mouth. You know, it's hard learning to chew. And so it's just a really cute photo. I just had the one. And so I wanted to go ahead and document how cute she was, because this was when she was like 3 going on 4, I think. And she's 5 now. So I'm loosely basing this on a Kim Watson layout. I'm sure it was by her. I don't have the layout anymore. So I was just kind of going by memory. I remember there was a bunch of strips in the middle with scallops in it. And there were also, and then there was a cluster on the top left and bottom right. And so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of make my version of it, kind of using that little bit of a recipe that I could remember. So I found this nice blue background paper, which I think is a Scraptastic paper. I cut a bunch of strips from other papers that I thought went well with my photo. And now I'm taking this paper with these yellow butterflies on one side and clouds on the other, and I'm going to use that to make my scallops, and also this punch to make a scalloped strip. And then I saw that the manufacturer's strip on one of those papers had a little scallop. This one here with the pink had a little bit of a scalloped detail. So that's going to do it for my scallops, and I'm going to make all the little paper strips just a little bit different in length. And I'm going to make a cluster kind of a little bit right of center. And then my photo is going to be there on the left. So there's my big scallops. And I'm just kind of seeing where I like how I like the colors interspersed there in this cluster. And I know that I need some darks to really kind of bring it out, but I like the lightness of the layout overall. And then I had this, it was like a cookbook album that you got from Project Life. And I liked the hamburger image in it, but then I also liked the tab over there on the side. And I got that whole pack of recipe page pack for like $1.99, and I've just been slowly using pieces out of it. So I kind of bought it just to kind of cut apart, and so I don't feel bad not using it for its intended purpose. You know, I'm using the image, I'm using the tab, I'm using the papers out of it. So, you know, as long as they get onto my scrapbook layouts, I don't think it matters in what form. So I'm looking through and trying to find something to back my photo with. And at first I think I'm going to do it with this light one, but there just wasn't enough contrast. But I didn't want all the purple. I was thinking about that darker purple one, and I thought that was a little bit too much. So I go with this dark blue, and I make it a very thin matte around there just to, you know, make my photo pop and delineate it from the background page. But you know, not bring too much color. And the navy blue of that paper kind of goes with the navy blue dotted design on the background paper, so that worked really well. And then I'm echoing that blue in these strips. So that's gonna kind of be my layout or recipe. That's all I remembered from Kim Watson's layout. And so I'm going to go ahead and start putting these strips down because I know that I like that. And then on this tab strip, I like that little bit of teal that they've got there. So I'm going to try to not cover that up and let a little bit of that teal show through. So I've got that yellow kind of gingham color. And then I've got this manufacturer's strip with the scallops on it. And then this kind of purpley color. I think that was from like a Scraptastic kit, I think. And then the navy blue that I used to matte my photo. So I'm really liking that. It gives some good contrast from lights to darks in there, but it still looks light overall. And then I'm going to use my glue stick to put this down. I'm just putting a little bit of glue in the center, and I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll put it through my sewing machine and add some stitching texture on this. So I go ahead and put those, and I want to make sure not to get them too close to the edge because I do want to slip my photo underneath. So I just make sure that I haven't put too much glue down. And then I go ahead and put my photo down. I don't put it on any foam tape because I do want it to fit underneath those scallops. So I'm really liking that. And then that hamburger is going to go there to kind of, you know, fit my theme of what I'm talking about. And I want to go ahead and put my title down. I wasn't sure what color of thicker I wanted to use, so I pull out a yellow since that's kind of the predominant accent color I've got going on. But I also pull out some blues. I didn't have any navies that had enough letters, so I pull out some blacks, excuse me. I wanted some navy, but I didn't have enough. In the end, I do wind up going with these yellow ones, and I use all capital letters on it. So my title's going to be Foodie. So I'm going to go ahead and put the exclamation point and then work backwards so that I know it's lined up to the right hand edge of that photo there. I'm just kind of placing it along that mat to get it straight. So I'm liking that. It just pulls that yellow color over to the left hand side of that photograph. And I had pulled some stamps out, you can see there, but I didn't wind up stamping on this layout. I did think about it though. I have these food stickers that I probably got at the dollar store or something like that, and I do wind up using the 2 hamburgers out of there. They kind of put me off because they're so glittery, but in small doses I think they're okay. So I do pull out this sticker book that's kind of food related, and I can't remember who it's by. Hopefully you saw it when I pulled it out there. But it had a lot of these little word phrases and stuff, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to do my clusters on that. And I think about doing them on the upper left and bottom right, but then I decide to do another cluster on the below the photo as well. So I kind of move a few things over here because I wanted to make sure my photo was front and center. So I go ahead and put a bunch of these little word strips down. They're going to act as my journaling in a certain respect because I didn't really have a lot to say about this. You know, it was just a really cute photo. So I also have that flare badge. I wind up putting 2 flare badges on this. I don't use my flare near enough. So I wanted to make sure to get a few of those on here. Pull out a few more hearts from that sticker book. And then I didn't want my right hand side cluster to go too far up the page, so I'm just kind of, you know, moving it down closer to that hamburger just to kind of keep those things together a little more and leave that white space more above the hamburger there. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to use some super sticky tape to put my flare badges down. And I have a great collection of flare badges. I just don't pull them out and use them enough. So I wanted to make sure when I gathered stuff to do this layout, I did gather a bunch of stuff together before I started making the layout. And that was one thing I did do, was pull out both the flare and the stamps. And I didn't wind up, like I said, using the stamps, but I'm glad that the flare got on there. I toy with the idea of putting more of these kind of purple scallops, and then I cut down a piece thinking I wanted a little bit more purple there. And then I decide, no, I want to do stitching. I just want to do the stitching there. So I kind of abandon that. And then here are these kind of super glitzy stickers. And they kind of turn me off a little bit, but in tiny doses I think they're okay. They're just a little cheesy, but you know, this is a themed layout, so I guess I can be a little cheesy. So there I am. I'm thinking about using those stamps, and I think, you know what? No, I've got enough stuff going on that I don't think that I really need to do the stamping. So I go ahead and I take it to my sewing machine, and you can see I did a bunch of stitching. It's in pink, a light pink, so you can't, it doesn't stand out a lot, but when you're looking at the layout, you can really see the texture that adds. And then I thought I would do a little bit of doodling, so I do some broken lines around those big scallops and around this tabbed page. And then I also go around the title a bit just to kind of bring up some shadowing in that. And I just like the doodling effect on this. So I just kind of go around. I'm not doing a solid line around everything, but just kind of highlighting certain areas, and it just kind of makes the title pop a little more. And then I decide, you know, I want a little bit more doodling on this, so I decide to go around each of the flare badges about 3 times with some doodled circles. So I like that. And then I go ahead and I think, you know what, I'm going to do some sprinkles. So I have some kind of dark blue mist that I use. I think this is Shimmer's Mama's Got the Blues. I just do a little bit of sprinkles on there. And then I think, okay, you know, what else am I going to put on this layout? And I thought that it just needed a little more of that purple. So I just take 3 of those scallops that I had, you know, kind of cut down earlier, and I'm just going to put those to the left of my title. And I think that really just kind of ties in and brings a little more contrast over on that left-hand side, and just kind of brings the whole layout together. And then I'm going to call that done. I really love how it turned out. There's some of the cute little phrases they had in those word stickers. You can see my doodling around the flare badge, all the texture in the stitching. You can see I went back and forth with straight stitch and zigzag, and yeah, I love how it turned out. So if you guys have any questions on this or anything, just leave them down below. And thank you so much for watching. I love all your comments. I love your thumbs up. I love talking to you guys. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.